Hi guys, it's Sinead and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm reacting to episode 9 of I Hear the Sunspots. I'm a little bit nervous about this episode because episode 7 was quite a difficult one for me to sit through. Then episode 8 got better, but the conflict with Maya has not yet really been resolved, so I'm scared to see how it's going to be handled in this episode. We'll see. Before we do get into it, however, I just want to say a quick thank you to all my amazing patrons and channel members. If you're interested in joining other of those for uncut and exclusive reactions, the links will be in the description below, along with my social media and my PO box. And if you want to subscribe, that's always greatly appreciated. But now, without further ado, let's get into today's video.
何かの行為が犯罪であるとみなされるためには構成要件を満たす必要があります。
Oh right, he's on the law side of things now.
つまり他人のものを奪うことへの認識があるということが構成要件として不可欠となるわけです。
He seems much more focused now. Like, if you compare to how he was at the start, I feel like there's kind of the implied thing of he's already improved in how he does it. It doesn't seem to be as overwhelming for him anymore. Burger. Burger. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You guys are so bad about that. If you're gonna hide, or like if this is gonna be an issue, then at least confront her about it. Behind you. Always. Maybe reflect on the fact that they feel the need to hide from you. She didn't take their food. Have you apologized? Okay, so for a moment I forgot the fact that, like, it's technically, it's Kohei's food for him to deal out however he sees fit. So I could have, like, kind of given it a pass, but then she literally went in and stole his food, which just nullifies that pass. Because, yeah, technically it's Kohei's food that he gave to Tachi, but he gave it to Tachi. He did not give it to you. Tachi didn't consent to you stealing his food. You've been rude to him, you haven't apologized, and now the writers are trying to make her look cute, as if that somehow nullifies everything she's done up until this point. And I just hate that approach because I've seen it way too many times. Oh, social insurance. That's interesting. I've never heard of that. I mean, from the name it's easy to infer what it is, but... That's fair. And I feel like something like social insurance, there should be ways to work around hearing impairments, whereas some other jobs might be a little bit more difficult to accommodate that. It's frustrating though to have to take things like that into consideration. It's realistic, but it's still frustrating. And it's not necessarily rude, because, like, what is wrong with that approach in life? It very much gives the sense that she thinks there's only one way to do things. And sure, like, to an extent, I feel that if you're gonna go into something, then try and be sure about what you're going into, because that's a lot of money that you have to spend, and in some cases a lot of loans that you have to take out. And personally, I always say, you know, if you're unsure, take a gap year, because then you can earn money instead of waste money on something that you're unsure about. But at the same time, it's not her place to judge. Have you met Tachi, and do you know how much he prioritizes food? Well, I mean, you wouldn't have seen him like that because you were determined to keep him away from Taichi because of some weird personal gripes you had with him. Maybe her ability to like sympathize hasn't really been something that she's been able to stimulate a lot because of how isolated she's felt. So maybe this will help her like start to broaden her emotional horizons a little bit. Oh wow! Shame. And do you think it's quite sad to see the amount of pressure people feel to immediately know what they want to do with their lives? I really like their relationship, it's just so sweet. Is that Kohei's mother? Oh no, well, I was just seeing the back of the head, and because it's weird, like technically there's nothing wrong with that statement, but it does feel a little bit rude. All his good memories linking back to Taichi. I'm kind of living for it, not gonna lie, because she's been getting on my nerves so much that I'm like, I'm hoping that his constant mention of Taichi kind of is getting on her nerves a little bit in return. But at the same time, I know that's not gonna help her get past this enmity that she has set up in her mind towards Taichi. But because he's not doing it maliciously, I'm kind of hoping that it'll help her Taichi in a different light a little bit. I don't know how else to explain it. There is such a false equivalence to draw. And I can see that it's all out of her own insecurities and personal past experiences, but it's just frustrating because it's creating insecurity in Kohei because she's projecting her own insecurities onto Taichi, where in reality most people can have more than one friend. You know, it's a thing, it's known to happen, but obviously in this case with Kohei there is a little bit of a caveat in the sense that he wants more from Taichi, but so far there's no signs that he will be able to get more from Taichi. There was a sorry, I don't know why it's making me think of that, but there was a interpreter who I almost want to say like performed at Rihanna's concert. I think it was the Super Bowl, and like seeing the dedication was so awe-inspiring. Like she gave a performance, it was amazing to see, and I think that just carried so much of the emotion of the performance through, and it was honestly just amazing to see. So it was for me quite eye-opening to see how many different ways interpretation could be utilized. Seeing that just reminded me of it.
食べていいんですか？じゃあいただきます。
You've already won him over.
うまい。これまだある？え？なんか食べたくなっちゃった。
This man is just like inspiring hunger in people wherever he goes.
社長なのか、おっさん。おっさん。確かに僕なんかもうおっさんだよね。あ、すみません。
Yeah, that's not the most polite way to put it.
でも手話を知ってもらうことで聞こえない人とのコミュニケーションの方法を考えることができるから。
Something that I'm really appreciating here is seeing how Kohei's entrance into Taichi's life has completely, potentially, I mean, we don't know yet if this is something he will seriously consider as a career path, but potentially completely shifted the trajectory of his life. And I think it's so easy for someone to have that kind of influence on you and for them to not realize it, but for it to be such an important and pivotal thing in your life.
難聴の人だって聞こえなくて苦労してるのにわざわざ仕切んなくていいじゃんって思って。
It's a fair point to make.
さっき君が言った字幕ね。
Okay.
あれはもちろん聞こえない人には欠かせないものだけど、画面
And like we have technology now, building in a version of something where the screen is bigger if you don't have subtitles and the screen is a little bit more condensed if you do have subtitles is not that difficult. And also we have floating subtitles where the subtitles are on top of the existing material, and it's not like, as someone who literally reads subtitles for a living at this point, it feels I've never had that bother me when I'm consuming the media. Yes, it sometimes means that I'm not as observant about certain things as I could be if I just didn't have to read. But I mean, then at the same time I have ADHD and sometimes I just get distracted. So I like, there's always something that will maybe take away from your most full enjoyment of a show or a movie, but at the same time it also adds things. So I don't understand this argument. It's frankly neither here nor there for me, but let's just hear what he says. For a vision impaired? I don't know what a tactile pavement is. Is that a textured pavement? That is maybe easier to feel if you have a walking stick or something? And that is true. But it doesn't mean that there aren't needs that could potentially be fulfilled. I understand that public spaces are a bit more of a difficult thing to work around and like make safe and easy to use for everyone. But in terms of digital things like subtitling and so on, there's so many ways to just have, say for example, you pay for a streaming service. It's so easy now to just select a dub or select a sub, and you can choose to not have that be a thing. So I feel as if some of these barriers that they are seeing are maybe like self-imposed barriers in a sense, but also maybe subtitling is not the best example and they're just kind of going with it because that's what he asked about.
考えたらできるかもしんねえし、字幕だって画面が狭くなんないやつできるかもしんねえ。
I mean, could you imagine if we took that approach to like racism and sexism? Oh, like it's very difficult to eradicate it, so we should not even like try and teach our kids to do better than we did. Could you imagine? I'm kind of glad that he has someone to practice with, because I feel like my attempts at learning Korean was at its best when I got to teach someone what I knew, because it helped me remember and repeat and practice. So I'm really glad that he actually does have someone. Why does that look so cute though? I can't even do it, but it looks so cute. She. I'm probably doing it wrong. Oh, this show just gets me emotional and way too invested. He kind of has a mad genius vibe, and I don't know why. Well, the best way to help them improve is hold on, I don't want to see spoilers. Best way to help them improve is to work there if you want to make a change. Okay, that made me way too emotional. I'm glad we pulled a little bit back from Maya and Taichi's relationship because it's still clearly strenuous. It was nice seeing her outside of those contexts, and I think seeing her outside of those contexts helps me connect more with her, whereas when she's with Taichi, it just, her negative side comes out a lot and it makes me feel very defensive and frustrated, even while at the same time I understand where the trauma comes from. It doesn't excuse how she's treating Taichi. But yeah, it was really nice to see, and also seeing Kohei, just the way he talks about Taichi, his face lights up, and the actor just does such an amazing job with the way he conveys the thoughts that Kohei has about Taichi, like even without any of the flashbacks and things like that. And I really appreciated Taichi's struggle with trying to find his passion, because again, I do feel that the world is often too quick to just expect you to know what you want to do with life. And it's funny because there were so many times while I was in university where I would speak to someone and they'd tell me, oh, I'm studying, this, or I'm studying that, and it'd be something that I didn't even know existed. So like it's so frustrating as well, because oftentimes we don't even know what possibilities are out there. So it's not like you can really find them because you don't know to look for them. So him happening to come across this, even though it technically is something that he might logically know, oh, there are companies like this, but getting to encounter it firsthand, potentially it seems has opened up the possibility of him actually considering this as a career path. So I just appreciate seeing his struggle with this, and the way that it's a very self-contained struggle, because oftentimes it is a struggle that I don't think people feel comfortable sharing, because there will be those people in your friend group who are immediately sure of what they want to do in life. And it can make it feel as if that's just the way it is, and you're abnormal for not having your entire life planned out until you're 50. So, anyway, tangent aside, just another beautiful episode, and seeing how Tai Chi has internalized some of the things that has happened to Kohei, I weirdly relate to in a sense. And honestly, I just think the cast and crew are doing an amazing job with the show. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought, and otherwise I'll see you in the next one. Bye.